For the last fortnight, the Jawaharlal Nehru University has dominated the national debate over definitions of sedition and nationalism. But as a rather acrimonious and polarized debate plays out in Parliament and beyond, what's the mood within the Jawaharlal Nehru University campus? As you can see, the security presence here, a reminder perhaps as to how the rather tranquil surroundings here of 1,000 acres nestled in the Aravali's suddenly find themselves caught in a situation which perhaps they least expected. I want to find out today what are the conflicts that nestle here within and outside JNU. Come with me then on Ground Zero, JNU. Okay, now my first stop is at a coffee house here in JNU. Like many universities, the best way sometimes to debate heated issues like sedition and nationalism is perhaps over a cup of coffee. And that's what I'm going to do. Come with me to the coffee house. Okay, I've got my coffee with a spoon of sugar, but more importantly, I've got professors and students with me. So what better way to start the morning than by a good debate over a coffee adda? Professor Aditya Mukherjee from the Department of History, Professor Ramnath Jha from the Department of Sanskrit, and students from different departments from history to social medicine. So let's start the morning by asking you, Professor Mukherjee, I've been seeing you over the last few days on television. I don't think you've been on TV as often as you've been in the last 10 days.
You're absolutely right.
But look, this has become extremely polarized and acrimonious. Do you believe that that is inevitable, given these issues of nationalism and the kind of passions that they invoke?
See, in the campus, it is not polarized because the campus is almost overwhelmingly speaking with one voice. The polarization is outside, and that was the intention. That is to create an atmosphere outside that JNU is all bad, it's full of criminals, it's anti-national, that's it. So that kind of polarization has occurred. As you can see, most of the protests, I haven't seen very big protests inside the campus. Most of the protests is outside.
So you're saying the campus has consensus?
Overwhelmingly, it's visible.
Is that because there is a liberal left domination of the campus? Is the other view of
liberal? I think that what constitutes JNU is the openness, liberal. We have never prevented the right wing to operate from here. I have students who've been with the RSS. The CHS has many who have done their PhDs, who are writing in newspapers now, and we have fought for that space. If there are left-wing students who would not let them operate, the teachers have said that they must also have their space.
You believe that there is need for space for alternate views, and there isn't enough space given to alternate views of nationalism, for example.
Because this is the need of democracy. If you do not give a space for others' view, why you have no right to speak about freedom of speech.
So if you, for example, espoused a Hindutva view of nationalism, if you did, you believe you would not get space?
No. Any alternative view
is not given space.
Almost.
But there has been a domination. There has been a domination of intellectuals and teachers from the Marxist viewpoint over the years.
Yes, domination is the wrong word. If some Marxist scholars, let's say like Prabhat Patnaik, he's internationally well known. If he's a good scholar, if hordes of students want to come and hear him, you can't say Marxists are dominating. If some stupid person is on the other side, or not so articulate, or not so good, then he can't say he's dominating. This is not domination. There are also people who are not Marxists, who have critiqued Marxism, who are also very popular. So I think it is completely wrong to say that there is any domination. There are no rules. There is no preventing of anybody to do their thing in their own way.
Let me get
for students.
Yes.
As for teachers, entering into students' matters, we don't, by and large.
Yes.
This is not just a student's matter. The whole university has been attacked. It is being said that JNU teachers and JNU is now become a hub of anti-nationalist activity. Now, don't we have teachers have to defend it? After having lived off this for 40 years, if we don't defend it, then we are not worth our salt.
You want to quickly respond before I go to the students?
No,
that JNU teachers needed to step into this row because of the nature of the controversy. The university was being dubbed as anti-national. What could the teachers do but enter the battle?
No, I think if you don't have faith in your administration, in your own legal process, then you are jumping. If you have faith in your legal process, then why you are so much interested? So either you should claim, or you should understand, or you should think that we have full-fledged administration, their legal process, or you are going to tackle all these issues separately.
It was not outsiders who came to the university and held this event. This event was organized within the university precincts. Maybe some outsiders came and shouted slogans, but it was not the extreme right which invited those outsiders. So why blame the extreme right for this controversy? Why are you blaming the right?
We're blaming the right precisely because this entire event has been highly politicized. Definitely it was organized by somebody, from students of JNU.
Yes.
And then we're an open university, so that's the reason that, be it any event at all, outsiders do come in. So right is being brought in because they're the one who actually, kind of instigated that this entire drama, that we're sitting here, our students are in jail, and we're technically not even able to do much about it.
Did the slogan shouting, students or outsiders, whoever they were, cross that line, yes or no? Sorry to put it in yes or no terms, but did they cross the line?
They did, but who crossed the line, that we don't know. From the video footages that we have seen, we still don't know who were the people who exactly raised those most objectionable, quote-unquote, slogans. So we really don't know who were the people.
Professor Mukherjee, this sense of, I'm getting a sense of victimhood, that JNU believes that they are being victimized in some way, that you all are being targeted in some way. Is that an unfair way to look at this?
I don't have an iota of doubt of the targeting. When BJP legislators get up and say, यहाँ पे शाम को लड़कियां नंगे नाचती हैं, and it gets reported all over. When our students ask anybody, when they go out on the roads and take us auto, they say कि Pakistan जाना है, when they ask for JNU. Now this atmosphere that has been created all around, this did not exist.
University is now caught in this trap of victimhood where you are going around saying, Smriti Irani has declared the entire university anti-national.
Leave alone the whole university being anti-national, all that they've got is a group of people who are not even JNU shouting anti-national slogans. There's nothing. But to come back to the Gandhi issue, since I'm a historian, the distinction is not, is this sedition? He did not draw a line on sedition. His line that he drew is the same that the Supreme Court is drawing, which is violence, non-violence. Gandhi said that till you are non-violent, you can say anything.
No, but Bharat ki barbadi, but many will say Bharat ki barbadi is incitement to violence.
If it is, catch them. But none of our students said this.
I think professors should not make this kind of a statement, whether it is sedition or non-sedition.
They should allow the rule of law to continue.
This is a legal process, and JNU administration has already set up a committee. That committee will look into this matter.
Are you intolerant? Are you intolerant of alternate viewpoints? Under the guise of liberalism, are you alternate?
On the contrary, I hold a view which is not the popular view, which is on, for example, among the Marxists, on Gandhi, right? For years, we have been critiqued in this campus. Now, am I going to bring in the police force, therefore, to say, beat them up, beat these Marxists and agree with my view of nationalism? I will fight it out. I'll argue. And if his view is not accepted, he has argued. Has he gone to the police and said, come and, give my view?
So can we therefore arrive at a consensus before I end my coffee, which is that the one thing that troubles people is the police coming in. Yes. This issue could have been settled within the university campus through a healthy debate and dialogue is what you're saying, through an administrative disciplinary proceeding rather than bring in the police. You believe the police should have been brought?
Mobs and the state. Three things are coming in. The government, mobs outside, and the police. They must stay out of campus.
They must stay out of campus. Do you believe the police should have been allowed?
I think administration is enough to take decision.
You don't need the police.
If administration I think we have full faith in administration.
You have full faith in the administration. You believe that the administration should not have called in the police under any circumstances.
Administration is part of the JNU community. Right. And if it is not in sync with the JNU community of teachers and students, then that administration is not a unique thing from the top. It may make mistakes, it may do the right thing. We hope this administration will lead us out of this situation by getting the students out of the sedition charges.
Yes, you wanted, yes.
There is an incident of 9th of February and there is a propaganda, after that. So we are all agreed and there is a larger consensus on that point that such slogans should not be raised in the campus.
Is there a consensus in the campus? Is there an agreement? Yes, agreement in the campus that these slogans should not be raised?
JNUSU released a pamphlet on 11th of February and, very categorically condemned this incident, and it was the signatories were Kanhaiya Kumar, Shaila Rashid and Ramanaga.
But Smriti Irani in her speech in Parliament brought out various pamphlets which from time to time she says have been put out in JNU, which she has raised a question mark over, which she says are borderline seditious.
See, we have pamphlet of 11th of February and it is very apparent that we are condemning this issue.
You're condemning it. Yes. So there is a condemnation of the slogan shouting?
Yes.
There is.
Sure.
Okay, absolutely. Okay. Unanimously over that. So if I'm a right-wing historian, I have every right in this university to sit across the table with you and argue.
We would welcome it because that will refine my argument.
You're sure of that? You will give space to someone who wants to, let's say, reassess Golwalkar in today's time.
Absolutely. As Devyani said, our students come in with those ideas. Many faculty members have similar ideas and we argue with them.
Okay. That's your view. Others might disagree with that. But yes, final view.
I would say intolerance, the one that we are seeing today.
Yes.
Any intolerance that JNU has or had.
Yes.
I mean, doesn't compare with the type of intolerance that we are witnessing today. Outside. And I wouldn't say it was intolerance so much. Maybe a certain viewpoint was dominant and sometimes would not be listening to others the way a person like me would want them to. But beyond that, I don't think there was...
There's no muzzling.
No muzzling.
Okay.
No muzzling.
The president of the Januta.
Yes, I was. I was president of JNU Teachers Association, although I'm not a leftist.
Although you're not a leftist. Okay, let's leave it there. I think the very fact that we've been able to conduct a civilized debate in this wonderful coffee house is perhaps a sign that there is still hope. This is what we'd like to see more often, perhaps in our studios. But that's another story for another day. Thank you very much for buying me some coffee. Nothing better than that. And we'll then proceed to meet more students, listen to more voices. The last thing that you want when you're in JNU at the moment is not to listen to alternative voices, particularly those of students. Thank you very much again. Thank you.
Hi everybody. Hello. How are you? Fine. We are teaching to write you a letter.
We're not good.
My next location in Ground Zero, JNU, is here in front of the statue of India's first Prime Minister, after whom this university is named. And I've got students from the right, from ABVP, Abhijit and Valentina, and I've got students from the left, led by Rahila, and others from, and Shintu and others. Okay, so we've got two sides, left, right. And I'm going to ask you, is it as divided as it is being made out to be, Abhijit? Is there a big divide in this university? After this incident?
The number of people who are on this side and the number of people who are on this side tells us who is the main dissenter in this campus.
You are the minority here, they are the majority.
We believe always the dissent is always against the majority and the majority narrative in this campus. The dominant narrative in this campus is basically a narrative of the left. Our radical left, ultra left, whatever. There are 6 variants of the left, by the way. We get confused what they all want to say. And we are the main dissenter in this campus. So we can never stand against the right of dissent. And we are also a political organization. So a restricted understanding of the right to dissent is always going to hamper us also.
So you are actually the dissenters here. The ABVP is the
we
dissenter
are the dissenters
here.
In this campus.
Because I saw a few posters here that you have put up of Afzal Guru, for example, and questioning the manner in which you claim the left is supporting Afzal Guru. Right?
Left, we can say that some factions, larger
factions of the
but
left.
however, GNSU resolution of GNSU pamphlet of 10 February criticized the judicial killing and even supported the organizers of the 9th Feb, wherein which was undersigned by our President Kanhaiya Kumar, Ramanaga, and Shala Rashid.
Are you allowed to speak out or not in this campus?
See, we have been there are
You are allowed to speak out.
No, we have been categorized as Bahishkrit, goons, and whatnot.
You are called goons?
Goons. We have called there are video evidences wherein some of the people have called us goons.
ABVP
is called as goons.
You call the ABVP goons in this campus?
No, Rajdeep, actually, हमें लगता है ऐसा कि आप गुन्स किसको कहते हैं, उनके कुछ कारनामों को कहते हैं, वो जिस तरह की एक्टिविटी करते हैं उनसे कहते हैं.
अगर ABVP आज कहती है कि आप पैम्फलेट्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं कि अफजल गुरु की किलिंग जो थी जुडिशियल किलिंग है, वो उसके खिलाफ है. वो कहते हैं कि ये जो स्लोगन नारेबाजी हुई उसके खिलाफ है. क्या वो अगर वो आपके खिलाफ हो गए तो वो गूंस हो गए? They become goons?
बिल्कुल नहीं.
Why do you call them goons?
हम उनको goons इसलिए कहते नहीं कि हम तो विरोध में उठ रहे हर सवाल को वेलकम करते हैं, लेकिन हमें समझ में नहीं आता है कि विरोधी स्वर को ये दबाने के लिए उनकी हत्या तक कर देते हैं. तो ये किस तरह का इनको गुन्स नहीं कहा जाए. आप मारपीट करने लगते हैं. आप विरोध कीजिए.
नहीं, उन्होंने मारपीट की है. नहीं, उन्होंने मारपीट की है. Have they ever resorted to physical violence? Why do you call them goons? Why is ABVP called goons in this campus?
देखिए, यहाँ पर ABVP के जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी हैं और पूरे डेमोक्रेटिक प्रोसेस में वो भी चुन करके आए हैं. सारे डिसेंटिंग वॉइसेस को यहाँ स्पेस मिलता है. ABVP के साथियों के साथ हम लोग डाइनिंग टेबल पे खाना भी खाते हैं. सिर्फ हम लोग का आइडियोलॉजिकल बहस रहता है जो कि सड़कों पर
कह रहे हैं आप उनको गूंस कहते हैं.
डिबेट गूंस है ही नहीं.
Yes. One minute. No fighting. This is not a studio.
एक मिनट. डाइनिंग टेबल पे परसों हम लोग गए थे मेस मीटिंग करने झेलम हॉस्टल में. हमारे ऊपर सब्जी फेंकी गई. उसी डाइनिंग टेबल पर परसों की घटना है ये, जिसका वीडियो भी है.
Okay, मेस कैंपेनिंग के लिए we were there for the mess campaigning, and one female activist of ABVP was trying to answer a question raised by a left activist, and that left activist, instead of hearing it out, threw dal chawal and sabji over that activist.
You threw dal chawal? No, one minute. Now, you don't. That's not true.
It is because of the left democratic Ambedkarite forces in the campus. There's a space. People can speak it out. You may be different opinion, disagree.
They are saying you threw sabzi. They are three.
Rubbish.
This is not true. He says he has a video. You have a video. It's all rubbish.
DU में ये लोग डंडे से
One minute.
DU में डंडे से पीट करके ऐसा के लोगों को मारते हैं, भगाते हैं. They are in majority. मतलब लेफ्ट लोगों को पूरे देश भर में ये लोग दाभोलकर को, पंसारे को उनका हत्या तक हो जाती है. ये लोग गूंस से सिर्फ क्यों डर रहे हैं?
नहीं, one minute.
इनकी एक्टिविटी गूंस वाली है. ये हत्या कर दें, ये लोगों को लाठियां मारें, ये लोग महिलाओं पे हमला करें, ये विरोध में उठ रहे हर स्वर को दबा दें, और इनको हम क्या कहें?
All these issues, whether it is even contentious issues like Kashmiri self-determination, whether it is an issue like Afzal Guru's killing, can it not be debated? Can it execution, hanging? Can it not be debated in a healthy atmosphere? Why is it necessary to classify someone as anti-national and national? Just as they are calling you goons. No, 1 minute. Just as they are calling you goons, why call them anti-national because you don't agree with their viewpoint? Is that right?
Having a debate on the opposition to Afzal Guru killing can be on two ways. It can be a principal opposition to the idea of capital punishment itself. That was not the issue. Second thing is that you can have legal problems that they were not sufficient legal evidence. Such kind of thing can be there. But making someone hero and saying that.
No, why call them anti-national? They have no. Just as they have no rules, possibly, why call them anti-national? Why is this becoming? Why these certificates of patriotism being handed out? Ki you are a patriot, you are not a patriot. Do you think that's the right? Aren't you all students at the end of the day who should be actually looking to improve the quality of academic freedom in the university? Isn't that what this Jawaharlal Nehru University was all about?
Patriotism is our own.
No, let us speak, please.
We know that we are patriots. You know you are patriots, okay? We are not questioning your patriotism. But what you did on the 9th of February, when you are questioning the Supreme Court of India, you are questioning...
So you are against some... One minute.
It's a democratic country. You are also saying... Don't ask that...
No, 1 minute.
We have the point to make.
Yes.
हम ये निश्चय ही नहीं बता सकते कि कौन पैट्रियोटिक है, कौन नॉन पैट्रियोटिक है, लेकिन हम ये जरूर बता सकते हैं कि कौन एंटी नेशनल है। एंटी नेशनल आइडिया जो आइडिया कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यूज है, यूनिटी एंड इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ इंडिया, सोवरेनिटी ऑफ इंडिया, फ्रेटर्निटी।
अभिजीत जी, क्या ये सही नहीं है कि जो
बाल्कनाइजेशन ऑफ इंडिया की बात करेगा,
जो स्लोगन बाल्कनाइजेशन की इंडिया या भारत की, वन दे आउटसाइडर्स, should they be identified?
We can't say that they are outsiders or they are insiders. But however, there was an active. I think. Please let me speak. Please let me speak. You will get your chance. Please. One minute. Let. See, point is that we believe that. He has led that particular rally. On 10th, he has written a proposal. He has not criticized them on the speech, which is very popular. We believe that was a case of intelligence in hindsight. And also that time, Umar Khalid was the organization of that event was standing with them.
Achha, one minute. No, 1 minute. At the same time. No, 1 minute. At the same time, when people speak of Bharat ke tukde, when they speak of Kashmiri self-determination, now in a university, you may believe these are free ideas. In the outside world, it is seen by many as sedition. So why don't you accept that maybe there are limits to free speech also? Do you accept or not that there are limits to free speech?
देखिए, जो लोग रामजादे सोसाइटी को डिवाइड करते हैं, उन लोगों का पता है। जो लोग लक्ष्मणपुर, बाथे बथानी से लेके मुजफ्फरनगर तमाम सारे दंगे करवाते हैं, उन लोगों का भी पता है देश में क्या चल रहा है। हम लोगों ने कभी भी इस तरीके के डिवाइडेड स्लोगन्स का समर्थन नहीं किया है और ना ही लगाया है।
पर हुआ ना, 9 तारीख को हुआ है।
हम तो चाह रहे हैं, उसको पता कर रहे हैं। नहीं, हम तो डिमांड कर रहे हैं। वो जो वीडियो में जिस तरह से छेड़छाड़ हुई है, हम तो कह रहे हैं ना, कुछ अब तो वीडियो भी साफ आ गया है। कुछ एबीवीपी के लोग हैं जो पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद का नारा लगा रहे हैं। हम तो साफ ये डिमांड बार बार कर रहे हैं सरकार से कि आप हमारे ऊपर तो ब्लेम कर दे रहे हैं, लेकिन जब ये साबित हो रहा है कि एबीवीपी के लोग हैं, तो आप उस पर जांच क्यों नहीं करवा रहे हैं? वहाँ थी पटियाला कोर्ट के दोनों दिन, जिस दिन कन्हैया पेटेक हुआ और जिस दिन सिर्फ दाढ़ी रखे हैं, हम झोला टांगे, ये जेएनयू का है मारो। मैं पूछती हूँ कि विक्रम चौहान को, यशपाल सिंह को,
You were there?
I am there.
You saw Vikram Chauhan?
Everything. Yeah, I saw Vikram Chauhan.
Did he target you?
Yes. उसने मुझे धक्का दिया और मैं पीछे की तरफ आई। देन उसके बाद जितने वहाँ पे बॉयज थे, उन्होंने हमें कहा कि आप पीछे रहो। मैं पूछती हूँ, उसके बाद एनडीटीवी की सोनल को, जो एक फीमेल मतलब थी, उसको उन्होंने सिर्फ मतलब लिटरली बदतमीजी किया। हमारी टीचर वहाँ पे थे आयशा किदवई, निवेदिता मेनन। एटलीस्ट आप उम्र का ख्याल रखते हैं। आप तो बहुत महिमा मंडित करते हैं 16 दिसंबर की घटना के बाद, क्योंकि आप विपक्ष में थे। नहीं, 16 दिसंबर के बाद क्योंकि आप विपक्ष में थे, तो आप बहुत हल्ला मचा रहे थे। इसका मतलब है। दूसरी बात, मैं और एक एग्जाम्पल दूं। मैं न्यूज नेशन पे डिबेट में थी और ओपी शर्मा आए हुए थे। मैं कुछ बोलती, इससे पहले ओपी शर्मा क्या कह रहे हैं, आप महिला हैं, अपने हद में रह के बात कीजिएगा। तो मैं पूछती हूँ इनसे, 16 दिसंबर के बाद जो नाटक आपने किया था, वो क्या महिला के फेवर में था? आपके पार्टी के अंदर किरण खेर है, आपके पार्टी के अंदर हेमा मालिनी है, आपके पार्टी के अंदर जितने भी वुमेन रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है, क्या आप उनकी भी स्वर को इसी तरह दबा दिया करते हैं? उनकी भी आवाज को दबाया करते हैं?
आप नेता बड़ी अच्छी बनेगी।
मैं नेता बनूं ना बनूं, लेकिन मैं इनको एक थ्रेड जरूर देती हूँ। ये जेएनयू है और जेएनयू का एक स्टूडेंट अब पॉलिटिकल है जी नहीं। आप चुप रहिए, आप पहले बात सुनिए। जेएनयू को आप जो दबाने की कोशिश करते हैं, जेएनयू के आंदोलन को खत्म करने की कोशिश करते हैं, वो तो नहीं चलेगा। हम उनको दुश्मन नहीं मान रहे, हमारा आइडियोलॉजिकल डिफरेंसेस है। हम आप नहीं जानते, इनको नहीं पता, लेकिन ज्यादा लोकतांत्रिक सबसे ज्यादा है और हमेशा
Okay, you want to make one last point? Yes.
अब जब you just compare Delhi University with JNU,
yes,
you just look at the electoral expenditure in Delhi University where NSTY and ABVP are, keep on capturing power, and look at our democratic process. We are like नेशन के हमारे लिए एक नंबर सिंगल 1 यूनिवर्सिटी है, जहां गरीब वो झारखंड, कालाहंडी, राजगीर, वो असम, बंगाल, ऐसे कोना कोना से लोग आके इधर इलेक्शन में बिना कोई पैसा, बिना कोई मसल पावर के इलेक्शन लड़ सकता है। इससे बड़ा मिसाल हिंदुस्तान का डेमोक्रेसी में क्या हो सकता है?
लेकिन इसी को ये खत्म करना चाहते हैं। बात ये चाहते नहीं है। जवाहरलाल नेहरू से भी के नाम से भी इनको बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। मैं एक चीज और कहूंगी, बीजेपी को जवाहरलाल नेहरू के नाम से भी बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। इसीलिए इस यूनिवर्सिटी को खत्म करके एक नया तरीके का, जो इनके नजर में राष्ट्रभक्त था, उनके नाम पर इस यूनिवर्सिटी को एस्टेब्लिश करना चाहते हैं।
You have a problem with the name of Jawaharlal? Let her speak. Do you have a problem with the name of Jawaharlal Nehru?
No, we don't.
हाँ?
No, we don't.
Is this a campaign against Nehru?
ABVP ने कभी ऐसा कोई रेजोल्यूशन पास किया है या ABVP ने कभी ऐसा बोला है कि जवाहरलाल नेहरू यूनिवर्सिटी को चेंज कर दिया जाए, किसी और यूनिवर्सिटी बना दिया जाए?
सर अब देखिए बोलने नहीं दे रहे हैं सर, आप उनसे कहिए थोड़ा बोलने का मौका दें।
वो ऐसा आप ऐसा कहते हैं सब कैसे लगा? Wait. How can you say that ABVP started the shutdown JNU hashtag?
Valentina.
One minute, madam.
राजीव सर नेहरू सर की बात बतानी, नेहरू जी की बात बतानी।
One minute.
राइला मैम बोलिए, राइला मैम।
One minute, Raila. One minute, madam.
अरे मैम, नेहरू जी।
Madam, 1 minute. Okay. Who started this hashtag shutdown JNU? Who started it?
This is a very relevant question, sir. We started on Facebook पे My JNU My Parade campaign हमने जो है 10 फरवरी को हमने नहीं चलाया। We don't know. और सर नेहरू की बात बतानी है, नेहरू जी की जहाँ तक बात है सर, पहला the first constitutional amendment which was proposed and mooted by Mr. Nehru himself when the Ramesh Thapa judgment has criticized government and it was held that it was a freedom of speech. Then the introduction to the first constitutional amendment, he said freedom of speech has been interpreted by the Supreme Court in a manner that it is impossible to run government in this country. Secondly, sir, one more point. In the 1963, sir, wait. In 1962, Nation Integration Council was established, which suggested that the sovereignty and integrity of India must be added as a reasonable restriction. And in 1963, constitutional amendment was being made, wherein it said that reasonable restrictions can be imposed in favor of sovereignty and integrity of India and balkanization की theory, भारत के 10 टुकड़े होंगे, भारत से जंग रहेगी. That is certainly not against the sovereignty and integrity of India.
Okay. I am. 1 minute. Madam, 1 minute. अच्छा, 1 minute.
लेकिन एक सवाल है मेरा राजदीप इनसे, अब पूरी बीजेपी सरकार से, कि कश्मीर के लोग सिर्फ मतलब कश्मीर का जमीन हमारा है, नागालैंड का जमीन हमारा है, नॉर्थ ईस्ट का जमीन हमारा है, लेकिन क्या वो लोग हमारे नहीं है जिनको किराए का मकान नहीं दिया जाता है, जिनके चेहरे के एक अलग तरह का कंस्ट्रक्शन है, इस नाम पे हम उनसे नफरत करते हैं? क्या सिर्फ वो जगह जमीन हमारी है कि वहाँ के लोग भी हमारे? अगर वो जमीन हमारी है तो वहाँ के लोग भी हमारे होने चाहिए।
Okay. 1 minute. Time out. Yes. No. She wants to speak with a softer voice. Let her. Yes.
I'm from Northeast. We have job, we have education, we have houses. The only discrimination. I was given the opportunity to run as a candidate of vice president from ABVP. Okay. The only kind of discrimination we face from the common youth of Delhi is the word chinky.
Okay.
That we face.
Okay, I'm going to.
SC Act में
No, 1 minute. You've thrown me the law on more than one occasion today. Okay. I'm going to take a time out because listening to y'all, I think Jawaharlal Nehru would be happy if this was conducted in an atmosphere free of any kind of recrimination. As long as it is done, healthy democratic discourse is what our liberal democracy and presumably what JNU is all about. I almost feel like going back to college. So thank you very much for at least having this energized debate here. May this remain an energized debate without the danda. That's the important thing. But that's it. Okay, so as long as the debate takes place without the danda, I think JNU would do fine. I want to take a break and then come and see what the students in the hostels. Welcome back to Ground Zero JNU. I've come to a very interesting spot where these young students are writing letters to the registrar protesting against what they call the action of the registrar in inviting the police, which they say has damaged the reputation of the university. Am I correct? That's the idea. Where does this leave all your academic work? I presume you're all research fellows, scholars doing academic work?
Well, with our minds not really in the academic work, we're still trying to do it. But
you think this is more important at the moment?
Otherwise, why are we studying? What are we studying for? We're going to write our thesis and then what?
What about you?
At the end of an academic. I think since the beginning, JNU, and we stand for studying and struggling. So we are doing both. We are also studying and we are also struggling.
Okay.
So we are doing both.
Ma'am, where does this leave academic work? I mean, aren't you worried that, is this in some way what's going on around? How is the surround sound affecting you in your day-to-day work?
It's making me extremely agonized. I'm, of course, putting in all my energies into my synopsis presentation, which is right around the corner. But this really doesn't, allow me to leave this space of struggle, agitation against this total clampdown on the part of the government, on the part of our administration.
I've often wondered this. People outside, how are your friends and all taking what's happening within the campus?
They're coming with us. My family and friends are coming for these protests.
They're coming for your protests,
yes,
okay.
My mother, my family, people are coming. I just feel like what are we studying for? Are we studying only to educate ourselves and to say, oh wow, now we have some knowledge? Or are we educating ourselves also to better society? I would think that is supposed to be the larger aim of studying. And if you're putting these impositions on us where we're not getting to even learn how to better society, because through this we learn that, what is the point of an academic institute? I don't understand it.
Okay, what is the point of an academic institute? Okay, let's get in more voices. You are all signing these letters. Yeah. Why do you believe it's so important to register your protest at the moment? What happens to your academic work?
No, it's running good. I feel like it's a good academic means. Right now I'm understanding the importance of education, how much it is important for us, and how the interdisciplinary works are important for us.
Okay.
Right now we are saying that only concentrating to our that academic life, and that too now we are able to integrate it with the outside world, the social world. So we are having the practical application part of our academic life.
Okay.
And it's a kind of training. I think I'm going.
It's a kind of training. Okay.
It's a part
Great.
of training I'm going.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I'm joined by Anant and Ashutosh, both of whom are among the students who have not surrendered as yet, even though there is an FIR against them for alleged seditious slogans of what happened on the 9th and 11th of February. Are you going to surrender or not?
देखिए, हम लोगों ने दिल्ली पुलिस को एकदम लेटर वगैरह देके अपना फ़ोन नंबर, अपना घर का एड्रेस, यहाँ का एड्रेस दे दिया है। उनको लगता है कि हम वहाँ पे क्वेश्चनिंग के लिए कि हमारी ज़रूरत है, हम लोग एकदम जाने के लिए तैयार है। तो उनको लगता है अरेस्ट करने के लिए है, तो अरेस्ट भी।
नो कॉन्टैक्ट सो फार विद दिल्ली पुलिस?
अभी तक कोई,
उन्होंने कोई आपको कॉन्टैक्ट नहीं किया? ये बताओ अनंत, स्मृति ईरानी says that, you know, gave a very powerful speech and said an internal inquiry has already said कि आप लोगों ने ये इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज की, you were putting out pamphlets. How can you get away with it?
देखिए, हम उसको तो बहुत ब्रिलियंट स्पीच नहीं, इसको हेट स्पीच मानते हैं, क्योंकि शायद स्मृति ईरानी ने जो पूरा का पूरा स्पीच दिया वो आरएसएस के एजेंडे पे दिया, और महिषासुर का उन्होंने जिक्र करके जो बोला, क्या स्मृति ईरानी को ये नहीं मालूम है कि इस देश में महिषासुर की पूजा होती है? क्या स्मृति ईरानी को ये नहीं मालूम है क्या इस देश में रावण की पूजा होती है? और इंटरनल
उसके साथ साथ दुर्गा के खिलाफ जो कहा गया उन स्लोगन में, महिषासुर को आप प्रेस करिए, उसके साथ में आप दुर्गा को डेनिग्रेट नहीं कर सकते ना।
हम लोग तो मार्क्सिस्ट लोग हैं, कम्युनिस्ट लोग हैं, हम लोग तो धर्म में विश्वास ही नहीं करते हैं। न तो हमारे लिए दुर्गा एग्जिस्ट करती है, न तो हमारे लिए महिषासुर एग्जिस्ट करता है, नंबर एक बात
जी
ये। लेकिन एक दूसरी बात है कि क्या कुछ लोग अगर इसमें फेथ रख रहे हैं तो उसको डिफेंड किया जाएगा कि नहीं। लेकिन आपने जो बात बोली, आप जो है जब भी महिषासुर वाला प्रोग्राम हुआ उसके बाद हमारा पर्चा पोस्टर उठाकर देखिए, किसी भी नारी का कैरेक्टर असैसिनेशन अगर किया जाता है, वो कैरेक्टर ही क्यों न हो, हम नहीं मानते हैं कि ये सही बात है। हमने उसी समय इस स्टैंड को क्लियर कर दिया था।
लेकिन ये बताइए, ये कब तक चलेगा ये स्टैंड ऑफ? हाउ लॉन्ग? यू नो, there are people are writing now letters to the registrar. How long is this going to continue?
मुझे लगता है ये शुरुआत तो उन्होंने ही की थी, हम लोगों ने तो किया नहीं था। हमने साफ तौर पे बोला कि यूनिवर्सिटी एक ऐसी जगह है जहाँ पे बातचीत करने का स्पेस होना चाहिए। नारों का जवाब नारे से, पर्चे का जवाब पर्चे से, बातचीत का जवाब बातचीत से होता है। लेकिन यहाँ पे तो कोई नारा लगा दे रहा है, तो कोई सेडिशन चार्ज लगा दे रहा है। यहाँ पे कोई बातचीत रख रहा है, तो कोई बूटो तले रौन देना चाह रहा है।
एक अंतिम बात मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि स्मृति ईरानी जो मतलब उनका एक एज ए मंत्री इज्जत बहुत हम लोग करते हैं, एज ए मंत्री इन द सेंस कि उनको जब ये बोला जाता है कि वो अनपढ़ है तो हम लोग एकदम इसमें विश्वास नहीं करते हैं। हम बोलते हैं कि पढ़ाई लिखाई किसी भी की योग्यता का पैमाना नहीं हो सकता है। लेकिन वो बार बार ये जो बोलती रहते हैं कि वो नारी है इसलिए वो परेशान की जा रही है। उन्होंने ये तो बोल दिया कि माइनॉरिटी में भी माइनॉरिटी से है कि पत्नी इसलिए परेशान किया जा रहा है। हम ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं मानते हैं। लेकिन स्मृति ईरानी अगर नारी होने के नाते वो कुछ महसूस करते हैं, प्लीज़ उनको मनुस्मृति पढ़नी चाहिए और उसमें महिलाओं के बारे में कितना हेट बोला गया वो पढ़ना चाहिए, क्योंकि मनुस्मृति ही आरएसएस का संविधान है जिसके एजेंडे को लागू करी। हम उनसे अपील करते हैं कि वो स्मृति ईरानी जो है मनुस्मृति पढ़े और उसका दहन जो है पार्लियामेंट में आकर के फायर अलार्म स्विच ऑफ करके करें।
आप उसको आपने अपना वन लाइनर दे दिया, मनुस्मृति को स्मृति पढ़े। चलिए, यू हैव गिवन मी फूड फॉर थॉट, which is good enough for me to go and have some food. Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. And अगर पुलिस आए तो पुलिस से बात कीजिए। I think if I were you, I would go to the police. आप यहाँ बैठने के बजाय पुलिस के सामने जाइए।
एकदम जरूर।
नहीं, आपने जाना चाहिए। आप क्यों नहीं जाते हैं? You should go before the police.
भाई हम जो है वो अर्नब गोस्वामी के कहने पर
मैं अर्नब गोस्वामी के कहने से तो नहीं जाऊंगा कि कुछ टीवी चैनल्स ने हमारे खिलाफ गोल गोल कह के देशद्रोही हमें साबित कर दिया। हम जब कह रहे हैं कि किसी भी तरह का नारा देशद्रोह के अंतर्गत आता ही नहीं है, कुछ किया ही नहीं है किसी ने, हमारे सारे साथियों ने कुछ नहीं किया, कन्हैया ने कुछ नहीं किया,
पर नारे तो हुए।
जो नारे लगाए वो मैं तो कह रहा हूँ, जो नारा भी यदि लगा रहा है कोई
जी
तो वो भी सेडिशन के अंतर्गत नहीं आता है। ये बार बार लोगों
और आप लोगों ने नारे नहीं लगाए आपके
नारे। लेकिन एक और बात मतलब हम लोग ये बोलना
आप
चाहेंगे,
सरेंडर करिए ना
भाई हम अर्नब गोस्वामी और सरदाना के कहने पर सरेंडर नहीं करेंगे ना। पुलिस हमसे बोले तो, पुलिस हमसे बोलेगी तब तो हम कुछ करेंगे। पुलिस अगर हमको नहीं बोल रही है तो हम जाकर के जेल भरो आंदोलन तो हम चला नहीं रहे।
पर आपको कानून में विश्वास है ना?
बिल्कुल विश्वास है, ठीक है। और ये स्मृति ईरानी जो बोली, मैं कानून में विश्वास से बोल रहा हूँ कि स्मृति ईरानी ने बोला कि इसी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के पास, हाई कोर्ट के पास ये लोग रिलीफ मांगने जा रहे हैं। अगर एक मजदूर अगर फैक्ट्री में काम करता है तो क्या वो उस फैक्ट्री के खिलाफ, अगर शोषण होता है उस फैक्ट्री में, तो क्या उसके खिलाफ वो नहीं बोलता है?
आनंद, आशुतोष, thank you very much. I have to have my lunch. You've given plenty of food for thought about this entire issue. Time for lunch at JNU. Hi guys. I'm going to have lunch with you. What lunch is this?
Anti-national food.
Anti-national food. Why? What is anti-national? I don't see any beef on the table. It's non-veg. Oh, non-veg is also now anti-national? Okay, the food is not anti-national. It's chicken tikka, butter chicken. This is called 24/7 Dhaba, where I believe lots of you come. Not a bad lunch to have, I must confess. But tell me, are you know, when you just now said anti-national food, I almost smiled. But is this preying on all your mind? What's going on out there? Is it in some way affecting you?
Yes, too much.
Yeah?
Yes.
Is it affecting your studies? Is it affecting the way?
Yes, we have been missing, like, it's a strike going on in the campus. Last weekend it was a strike, and we have been missing all our classes.
You've been...
Yes, and discussing it all the time in our hostel. So it's a very, very, like, it's a topic that's affecting our life so deeply that even if we are fooding, that's the same thing we are discussing all the time.
Yeah, but you're discussing this whole thing of nationalism and anti-nationalism. But I'm just wondering, do you have any regrets then of having come to a university like JNU when you... No, never. I am proud to be a Genuite. You're proud to be a JNU.
I am proud to be.
Yeah? But if I will get next but, I will apply for JNU. Sorry? If I will get next but, I will apply for JNU. What did you say? Proud?
Proud था, proud है और proud रहेगा.
So, ये जो controversy है, how is it then? आपकी जिंदगी पर क्या फर्क पड़ी है? किस तरह से फर्क पड़ा है? Are your parents ringing you up कि आप safe हो, secure हो, इस तरह का भी है?
घर से कब फोन आ रहे हैं कि घर आ जाओ, तो हम लोग कह रहे नहीं, हम जितना JNU में सेफ है इतना JNU के बाहर बिल्कुल भी सेफ नहीं है.
जब आप JNU के बाहर जाते हैं और रिक्शा वालों को कहते हैं कि JNU लेकर चलो या मैं JNU से, तो कुछ कहता है रिक्शा वाला?
ऐसे कुछ रूमर्स आए थे कि ऑटो वाले कह रहे कि पाकिस्तान चले जाओ मैडम, JNU.
We don't want to go to Pakistan.
Yesterday only there was this guy who was asking me, मैडम आपका क्या व्यू है, मुझे एक बार समझाइए. So I told him the whole story, and he was like, yes, you guys are right, and I have too seen JNU कि वहाँ किस तरह से आप पढ़ाई करते हैं.
Has this university got politically divided?
It has got politically divided, but it is only for the seasoned politicians of the campus. For the rest of us, I think we are still, everybody who goes out, 95% or 99% rather of the people are common students who go out in the name of JNU and for JNU. So for us sitting over here, nobody goes there because they are against ABVP or pro-left or anything. They just go because actually the way JNU's image is being tarnished. The other day we went out for a movie, and Nirja we went to watch, and the guys, because I was with my friend who was also from JNU and we were discussing the whole thing, he turns around and says we are paying for people who we call students, but actually they are terrorists inside. So all we could tell him is tap on his shoulder and say, come inside to the movie hall, you'll see the difference, what a terrorist looks on the screen and what we are standing behind.
Yeah, you've got a beard. You could pass off for a terrorist. Right? Divided, this is a divided campus, as I said. ABVP people sitting on one table and AB people with...
He's most welcome to join us.
He's most welcome to join
Yeah,
you.
but there's no space for him to sit with us right now.
There's no space for him to sit with you right now.
Yeah, he's most welcome.
Pull up a bench.
Guys, we can have food together.
So you would have liked this entire debate to be settled over a bench, right? Rather than bringing parliament or rather than bringing the police.
Every logical person would want that.
Every logical person would want that. I want to ask you then, Gaurav, in conclusion. One day Kanhaiya is going to come out, right?
You wish that he comes out. The person who defeated you in these.
He's a friend of mine first. We are political opponents later. We have been living together next door for 2 years. I was in room number 149. He was in room number 150. So absolutely no personal grudges against anyone.
Which is why I'm asking you. Don't you think that this could have been settled between without bringing in the police? Because now there will be animosity. Now, as you are saying, there will be polarization.
If there would have been similar incident on the American soil of supporting Osama bin Laden, would you have said that there should have been a debate discussion over a table and these things could have been settled like that?
So you believe issues like Azadi, Kashmiri self-determination, support for Afzal cannot be settled through a debate?
Do you think they should be
I'm asking you.
Of course they should not be.
You need the rule of law.
We don't need the rule of law. We want the Supreme Court to decide whether it is true or not, or who should be practiced in what sense.
So you believe the Supreme Court should decide whether this is sedition or not?
Of course it should.
It should be. Yes.
Let's be honest. All political parties are pitching into the portrait. So there is always a polarization on a small issue, but on a bigger frame, there is a law process which has to be taken place. The Supreme Court will give its judgment, and we will come out of something.
Okay, I'm going to ask you therefore in yes.
See, politicization has not started by us. Politicization started by Rahul Gandhi, Sitaram Yechuri, Prakash Karat. We have not invited one single politician on this campus.
Let's leave it there. I need to finish my lunch. That's more important at the moment. Thank you very much. Thank you. All the best. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
So this is your university library canteen. Let me try and get quick reactions from all of you. To a very simple question. How did you find Smriti Irani's speech in Parliament? Honest answer.
I think to the people who support ABVP, and they really found it thought-provoking, but then for me it was like really disgusting.
It was disgusting. Why?
Yeah, because I think she's the one who is very intolerant, because it could be seen from her gesture and everything.
You're going to be called anti-national soon for saying that.
I'm already an anti-national if their definition of nation is.
You're already an anti-national. What about you, ma'am? How did you find Smriti Irani's speech?
Yeah, I did not find it very tolerant either.
You didn't find it very tolerant. What about you?
सारा नाटकीय लगा.
नाटकीय लगा, drama laga. How is this playing out in your minds at the moment? You know, none of you presumably are office bearers or anything of these organizations, but you know, this is playing out in Parliament. When you hear JNU echoing through Parliament, how do you feel? Do you feel targeted? Do you feel that JNU is being targeted?
Yes.
Yes?
It's not something that we were not, already, we knew this was going to happen, because we come from we support an ideology. We are a very, forward-thinking university that believes in a lot of critical thinking, and we knew that this was the kind of government that's never going to appreciate that, because, it was a first, very majoritarian government, which only tolerates a certain kind of ideology.
Because the flip side would be that you've got to listen to the other side. Why can't you have a debate dialogue? Are you all open to that? When a BJP MLA, for example, makes a controversial comment about condoms in the university, how did you feel that time?
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was
hilarious, of course. And there is no point debating it.
But do you feel that this is all, in a sense, something that angers you as JNU students? Today when you go out, let's say somewhere, and you say you're from JNU, do you feel that a negative stereotype is being perpetuated?
That is true, but the thing is that this attack is not merely on JNU. It's something that it's an attack on the entire society, right?
It's an attack on entire society.
It's an attack on basic human intelligence.
Yeah.
That's what.
Okay.
You are saying you have to debate and everything. How to debate basic human intelligence?
What about you, ma'am?
I just felt it was very melodramatic.
It was very, very melodramatic. I can see clearly, and this is just a snap poll that I decided to carry out on Smriti Irani's speech, is that JNU students aren't impressed with Smriti Irani, or at least the JNU students here aren't very impressed with Smriti Irani's speech. Obviously, none of you belong to the ABVP, right? No. So where are the ABVP students? I will find them.
There are very few in number, actually.
There are very few in number? Yeah. Do you believe that Kanhaiya has been unfairly dealt with?
Of course.
Yes?
He has been unfairly
targeted. You feel he's been unfairly targeted?
Definitely.
Despite the fact that there was this slogan shouting that went on at that event, you believe that he has been unfairly targeted.
Definitely.
You believe Kanhaiya did not utter those slogans?
Not at all.
Yeah?
There is ample amount of proof to suggest that these were outsiders.
Yeah. But why were outsiders allowed? Why were outsiders allowed?
It's an open campus. That is how we sustain this
whole atmosphere of dissent and debate. If we close this campus, people here would get claustrophobic. So it's like.
So you believe every group must have a right to speak out, ma'am? You believe that every group here must have a right to speak out even on issues contentious like Kashmiri self-determination?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think so. There's a problem if somebody believes anything. You can't just, play with the idea. I mean, you can't have a problem with certain ideas. I mean, obviously, we are not creating any violence here. We are just talking about some issues.
The intelligentsia in any society always constitutes the minority. It is very important that we do not go by numbers, but we go by the strength of the ideas that this intelligentsia produces, which affect the society. I think yesterday someone said on national debate that what JNU thinks today, the society thinks tomorrow. India thinks tomorrow. So this is.
You really think so? What JNU thinks today, India will think tomorrow?
Of course, all the.
So you think you're ahead of time, not behind the time?
No, we are ahead of time. This is a place where all these ideas find free expression.
Clearly, there's a dominant view being expressed here. It is what could be called a left liberal view. Clearly, a view that believes that the right to dissent is a fundamental right as much as the right to free speech, so long as it doesn't lead to incitement to violence.
Okay, I've seen the first sign of normalcy in a sense since I've been at JNU since this morning, where perhaps the talk is not about nationalism versus anti-nationalism, but about cricket. You all are watching cricket? First sign of normalcy. Good. Here nobody is national and anti-national on the cricket field. No. Huh? Absolutely not. Ball Busters, which team is this?
This is Ball Busters, like
Chandrabhaga Hostel,
yeah.
Inter-hostel. This you play every day?
Regularly, at times we play in our matches.
It happens once a year.
Once a year?
Yeah, it's Chandrabhaga Premier League, CPL.
CPL? They are playing the CPL. Chandrabhaga Premier League is being played here. But tell me, in all this talk about what is going on outside, the Kanhaiya Kumar thing, arrest, does it affect your life as students?
Yeah, it did. It did, yeah. So it was shock for us, and the way the government handled.
It was a shock for you. But cricket, on the cricket field, I presume ABVP, SFI, ISA, all friends or not?
No, you can see the diversity here.
You are all in the same team?
Yeah.
Will there be a team which will have someone from ABVP, someone from ISA and someone from SFI, yes or no?
Yes, there are.
Yeah, there are? Yeah. Are there? People, hi, how? My God, your new hairstyle, yaar. This guy's got a Dhoni-like hairstyle.
आपके पिछले प्रोग्राम में जो जंतर मंतर भी हुआ था, उसमें मेरा फोटो आया है.
आपका फोटो? अरे वाह. अच्छा ये बताओ, ये जो बाहर हो रहा है, ये पूरा जो कन्हैया कुमार के साथ हुआ है, जो बवाल बना है, जो पार्लियामेंट में हो रहा है, इससे आपकी जिंदगी पर क्या फर्क पड़ी है? क्या आप लोग सब एक टीम में अलग अलग आइडियोलॉजी विचारधारा के लोग खेल सकते हैं कि नहीं?
जी बिल्कुल खेल सकते हैं.
एबीवीपी, एनएसयूआई, एसएफआई, आईसा सब एक टीम में खेल सकते हैं.
सब लोग एक साथ खेल सकते हैं.
हाँ, तो कल्चरल नाइट भी है. क्या होने वाला है कल्चरल नाइट में?
It's kind of festival. Every year we celebrate.
So there are a lot of things that happen in JNU outside of politics, right? There is cricket, there is culture, there is fun. मजा आता है सबको JNU में रहकर. हाँ, छोटे गांव, बड़े गांव, जहाँ से भी आता है मजा आता है.
सही बात है.
Okay, that's the best thing perhaps about this game called cricket. It unites people everywhere, including at JNU, in what are seen as divisive times. Let's then go to my final stop on Ground Zero JNU to what is now being described here as Freedom Square. चलो मैं आपके साथ खेल रहा हूँ. Come. हाँ, बैट दो.
अरे अजय जी बॉल दीजिए, बॉल मुझे चाहिए.
अगर मैं 6 मारूं तो आपको ताली बजानी पड़ेगी. I have been told that if I get out इसको साजिश मत मानना, right? हाँ, okay, thank you. चलो, let's go. Out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Lot of people praising India today. Good. Yes, India today. Well done, India today. Well done. I want to ask you all, Do you see, what is your definition of freedom? When this has become Freedom Square, there will be those who will say freedom of speech has its limits. And this entire episode is raising those critical questions of what constitutes nationalism, what is sedition, and what is free speech. Are you ready for an open debate on that, where even other alternate voices can be expressed?
Of course, people are ready for an open debate. But the point is that how do you have an open debate in an atmosphere where you fear, atmosphere of people getting arrested?
So it's the criminalization of dissent that troubles you?
Absolutely, it deeply troubles me, it troubles everybody over here.
But if a right-wing voice was to come in and speak here in defense of, say, Hindu nationalism, would you accept him? Would you listen to him?
Absolutely.
Would you really listen to him?
Yes, absolutely. Because if we have to get heard, we have to give equal voice to the other side as well. We can't have a dialogue with just us believing in what we are saying.
But does that actually happen? Over the last few days, you've had these speeches here on nationalism. Most of them have been left liberal voices.
No, we had an event recently where the generals came, and ABVP had an event where the generals came and spoke about their version of nationalism and how they could instill nationalism in our university and everything. So I don't think that it's...
And I think you're also looking at a moment where the university is under siege.
Yeah.
Now, when you're under siege, of course, you will have a certain defensive response and want, in a way, a certain kind of a counter-majoritarian voice speaking. But if you're talking about an open debate which would be conducted within the limits of what openness actually means, that's always happened within JNU.
No, because the question is, the openness issue is where it all started. On February 9th, what was said at that event has led some to believe that that was seditious. Does that constitute free speech under Article 19 of the Constitution?
What constitutes sedition is to be determined not by popular opinion, not by the media, and not even by general common sense. The reason why you have a long history of the Supreme Court interpreting what sedition is because there are really specific political contexts in which questions have arisen where the courts have determined what is sedition. If you look at the history of the Supreme Court from Kedarnath down to Arup Buryan, it's very clear. Incitement, there's a difference between advocacy, opinions, and incitement. And without incitement, there is no sedition.
I'm just wondering whether there is a divergence of opinion within the majority view here in JNU and the majority view outside on the street. Does that worry you that you may be out of sync with the majority view out there? That the majority view out there is that, the JNU students must face the rule of law as strictly as possible. They've been seditious.
I really wonder if that's the majority view.
I'm just asking, there's one theory that's the majority view. Let's be honest, nationalism can easily descend into jingoism.
Of course.
And there will be always an audience for that. There will always be a constituency for that.
And it's a role of the university student to challenge that. I mean,
you believe the role of the university student is to challenge that?
Yes. But I think, to the extent...
Would you allow ABVP students here to come out and speak and express their viewpoint?
I think the larger challenge is not about whether we can get ABVP to listen to us. I think the larger challenge is, you're right, there are a lot of extremely reasonable people who are not part of the extreme right, who are, in a way, upset by ideas of what they think is happening in JNU. So it's important to give them a sense of what is actually really taking place here. And I think that conversation can happen.
So the time has come for a conversation? Has the time come for a conversation between right and left? Is it possible?
It is possible and we welcome it.
You would welcome a conversation?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
The reason I'm being cynical, I'm sorry, is because what I've been seeing over the last, you've been seeing in Parliament and outside, the debates got polarized. It's got shrill.
If you look at the Constituent Assembly debates is a good place to go to. The people who actually were brought together on questions of civil liberties. So, for example, one of the strongest voices against sedition during the Constituent Assembly debate was K.M. Munshi. K.M. Munshi is no communist. He is no lefty. He is one of the supporters of the right, and he was one of the early VHP, ABVP kind of supporters.
Can we have a Constituent Assembly-like debate here on nationalism?
Absolutely.
We should. Are you all agreeable to that? Have an open, free debate on what constitutes nationalism, where all viewpoints can be expressed, right?
That is the point of all of this. That's the point of this.
No, I'm just wondering whether this is, this is one view preaching to the converted. I'm just wondering whether those alternate...
Guarantee us that you're not going to get shouted out and beaten. We'd love to have that debate.
If you can guarantee that you will not be shouted down and beaten,
or trolled,
or arrested,
or threatened with rape,
you're open to that debate, right? Okay. Thank you very much for at least triggering off the conversation in some way. We have to see now whether these debates on nationalism, which are taking place in, as I said, Freedom Square, as it's being called here in JNU, will actually trigger that conversation. Because as we've seen in the last 2 weeks, the debate has been extremely polarized. The challenge, therefore, is to find the middle ground. And my last stop on Ground Zero JNU is to meet an individual who through much of his life wanted precisely that democratic dialogue. Come with me. As the debate continues here in JNU and beyond, I've come here to a statue of the man after whom this university was named. For Jawaharlal Nehru, principles of tolerance, diversity and citizenship were critical, in a sense, to a modern education. He said once, and I quote now, "A university stands for humanism, for tolerance, for reason, for the adventure of ideas and for the search of truth. It stands for the onward march of the human race towards ever higher objectives. If the university discharged their duties adequately and independently, then it is well with the nation and the people." That was Nehru all those years ago. 46 years later, you might argue that Nehruvian values are under assault, that JNU itself faces an identity crisis. Either way, the echoes of this battle will perhaps be heard well beyond the portals of the campus, and students find themselves in the crossfire. In a moment, Rahul Kanwal joins you in our continuing focus on the JNU debate. But from me, Rajdeep Sardesai, and the entire team of Ground Zero JNU, thanks for watching and goodbye.
Director Rajkumar Hirani is in Pune, and what is he doing there? Well, he will be filming Sanjay Dutt's exit from the jail. This is for the biopic Badshah, based on Dutt's lifestyle.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Gadgets and Gizmos. My name is Gaurav Preeti, and in this week's episode, I am out eating lunch at a fine dine restaurant, man. Yeah.